welcome, Abundance Seeker, to another episode of Fearless and Power Tube. I'm so glad you could join me here today, and I've got a very interesting question for you. Did you know there is a right way and a wrong way to apologize? Well, it's really awkward when we screw up, isn't it? When we've really blown it. It just feels like it's kind of awkward to apologize to somebody. But, this whole topic of how to apologize is sort of interesting because we learned how to apologize as a child, didn't we? So what's really wrong with how we're apologizing anyway? Well, I'll get into the right way to apologize in a minute, but let's talk about what we've learned so far about how to apologize. When we were little, and you can see a mom today in how she's teaching her little kid, take responsibility for what they've done. She takes little Johnny by the shoulders and she faces the other little kid and she says, "Now Johnny, say I'm sorry." And those two words are supposed to fix everything, and they run off and they play. And that's how we learn to apologize. But you can see that they don't really want to apologize. That child is doing it because they want to please their mother. So this is something that we feel even today. We will do anything rather than say, "I'm sorry." And we're forced to do it, right? Because we know it's the right thing to do. But what we need to do is take responsibility for what we've done wrong. But what happens, unfortunately, is our ego gets in the way. And when we were little, our ego was already forming. And as we've gotten older, our ego has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger until finally we have created some really bad patterns of blaming others for when we make mistakes. So that's really difficult to take responsibility for our own problems, for when we've made a mistake. So here's the thing. Understand that you can give yourself grace. Everybody's human and everybody makes mistakes, and it's awkward. We know it. And you can't sometimes just say those two words and it be sufficient. So what we're doing instead is trying to find another way to apologize, because apologizing makes us feel bad. We're internalizing, I screwed up, and that's all that we're saying to ourselves. So we're trying to find another way to apologize or not face it at all. So what you hear are these bad examples of how to apologize. I'm sorry if I made you feel bad. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. Well, those are really iffy ways of apologizing, aren't they? And definitely bad examples of how to apologize. So let's start your lesson on how to apologize. But first, before we do that, we have to understand that it's not our responsibility to walk around the planet and understand that it's our responsibility to take care of someone else's feelings, is it? No, it's not. But we, in a relationship, have a responsibility to communicate and understand at a very basic level of human needs psychology 101 that every single human being wants to feel significant, they want to feel love, and they want to feel connected. So this is really important to know when we've done something wrong and we owe an apology to someone that we care about. Why is that? Well, the reason is because we have to get out of ego and get into the now. We have to become present-minded. We have to be here in this moment with that person. And that takes a greater level of deep feelings. You have to get into them and not be an ego. You see, what we want to do is We want to feel the pain of the person that we've hurt. And there is no other way you can do it but look at them and say, wow, I hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You see, what you need to do is you need to rise to the level of pain that they're feeling. And this is the biggest problem that a lot of people have. They're trying so hard to avoid their own pain of having to apologize, and they totally miss an opportunity to connect with someone, right? So what they're doing is they're not truly facing it. They're not truly being responsible for what they've caused. So the right way to apologize is to face the person and to say, I'm so sorry I made you feel that way. I didn't know. I never meant to make you feel this way. Now, there are different levels of mistakes that we make, right? Makes perfect sense. You know, you forget to charge someone's phone, or you make a mess and you forgot to clean it up. So, you know, saying those two words, I'm sorry, that's not cool. What you need to say is, I recognize what I did. Oops, I didn't clean up after myself. Okay, so you're taking responsibility for what you've done. And now what you're going to do is you're going to assure them that you won't make that mistake. You're going to assure them that you heard them, that it matters to you. Oops, I made the mistake, recognition. And I won't do that again. I'll make sure that I clean up next time. Because it's important to them, right? So what you've done is you've recognized it and you've told that person that you understand it's important to them. So they feel significant, they feel loved. That's how you apologize to someone without saying, I'm sorry. So now what happens when you really blow it big? You've really screwed up. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes we can screw up so bad that the relationship could be over. Broken. Marriages can break up over really bad mistakes. So you can't just say, I'm sorry, like a million times. So, you know, there you are, you're saying, I'm sorry, and you're tired of saying you're sorry, where the other person is still feeling pain, and they're this exchange of, gee, how many times can I say I'm sorry? When is it going to be enough, right? Well, it'll never be enough, because I'm sorry is not good enough for those kinds of mistakes. So what do? You need to get into this moment with this person, face them when it's a really big mistake, look at them eye to eye. If it's your lover, your spouse, your daughter, somebody you're really, really close with, you can hold their face. You can get really close with them. And you say, I never meant to hurt you. I would never do that. I love you. You mean more to me than you can possibly imagine. You've got to get into them. You've got to get into their pain. You have to see what you've done through their eyes, not in your own ego. You can't just say, I'm sorry. That is the wrong way to apologize for a situation where it's that big. So there you have it. A right way and a wrong way to apologize, and get out of ego. Now, if you haven't already headed over to my blog before, you can go down into the description here where I've got a link for you. That's at fearlesspursuits.com, and read more on my blog. Also, I want to invite you to my brand new You 2.0 Life Mastery community, and sign up there. It's perfectly free for you to join, and what it's all about is, as the title describes, life mastery. I know there's some areas in your life that you're working on and you want some improvement on. Well, we're going to cover it there at the You 2.0 Life Mastery community. So head on over and join today. It's free. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much for coming.